All right, guys, welcome to another special episode of Overshot, a Paintball podcast. Real quick, just want to run through today's sponsor, Dizana Sports, makers of the Grind Air gloves, the SF joggers. We're actually going to be coming out with some Overshot joggers too, as well as some jerseys that you guys can get, so definitely look out for that. Again, it's code Overshot at Dizana Sports. We're going to be going right on over to Tim Stelzl, New York Xtreme. We just came from a camp that Tim helped run. Tim did a great job. We had six participants there. Some kids that have done it before, a couple older dudes. They've all learned something. So we'll just set it up, man. Tim, what did you think of the camp? I know it was one of your first times kind of doing something like this. So what did you think of the camp? And then kind of roll into your story.
So the camp was great, man. I mean, like you said, this is one of the first experiences I've ever had being like a coach or like a professor, as you would say. So I thought it was great. I mean, for me personally, I like it because it's something that I get to learn stuff too. You know what I mean? When you're a professional player and you've learned all these things along the way, and now to go back and really to like break down the fundamentals for these kids that are kind of very green into the sport, it makes me go back and think about my fundamentals, you know what I mean? I'm kind of going over those things that I learned a long time ago and just refreshing them in my head. So I like that for me. And also, I love the aspect of teaching. Like, I remember when I was like in high school, I used to do like wrestling, not clinics, but the older wrestlers in high school would like wrestle against the younger ones and teach them stuff. I always liked that. So to me, it came naturally, I think. And I enjoyed. I hope everyone got something out of it. I know, like, I'm a young player, so I really appreciate everyone that, you know, came out and kind of gave me a chance and was willing to come learn something from me, man. So it was really cool.
No, man, we appreciate having you. So how did you end up getting started in paintball? Like the typical
birthday party, man.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody and their mother is the birthday party. I've never met anyone that's not. So, it was just a birthday party in, like, 6th grade. Actually, my oldest brother, Topher, actually, he came with me to the birthday party because he had played one time before, but he's like, I want to try it again. So he came out and whatever. We did our thing. We played, and we went home. And we were like, that was, like, the most fun thing ever. Like, literally everything about it I loved. I remember, like, I got poison ivy. I got, like, stung by bees. But, like, I still came home, and it was, like, the most fun thing ever. And my brother at the time was working as like a valet at like a casino, so he was making like $600-700 a night, like with tips and everything like that. Right. So that's what funded my paintball in the beginning. He would come, we would go to Liberty Paintball in New York, and I want to let you guys know, if you go to Liberty Paintball, they charge $75 a case and $25 for entry. That's a lot of money for a kid who's 11 years old. Yeah. So my brother basically fit the bill, and we would go play once a week and then eventually twice a week, strictly in the woods. Didn't even know what professional paintball was, didn't know what tournament paintball was. And, you know, I got a little older, and then they built a speedball field there. And I was like, man, I want to try that. My brother never wanted to try it. He was like, dude, I like the woods. I'm messing these kids up in the woods. I like it. After a while, he kind of phased out, and I even took, like, a year off. And then I think going into, like, my freshman year of high school maybe, I, like, was like, I want to play paintball again. I was like, I haven't played in a while. I asked my mom. I was like, yo, I want to save up money, get a setup. So I got a setup, and I started playing again. And I remember, like, the first day, I like went there, and there's a couple kids that are actually playing at a high level now. My boy Ivan and his brother Enrique, they used to play for a team called Legacy back in the day. Oh, right. Corey Keefe is another one of my boys from up there. He was there, and I was like literally 14 years old, and I had never walked on a speedball field in my life, and they were like, yeah, dude, we'll show you how to play. And that was like my first experience on like an airball field. Those guys actually like taught me. And now it's cool to see my buddy Ivan. He's been playing and training with like Aftermath and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. His brother Enrique has been like in the media side of it, taking pictures and videos and stuff. Corey Keefe, been trying to get him out of retirement, but
yeah, man, he was good, dude.
He was good, yeah.
No, he was definitely good. I helped coach him at an event, and then there was another kid. They had this kid Kyle Manecki was on the team too on Legacy. They were all Liberty kids.
All those guys, yeah. So that was like my first place that I played at, and then I remember I started like a 3-man team with just some like random people that I played woods ball with. And they had been kind of playing in the speedball field a little bit more than me. So we played like a 3-man in like Oxford, Connecticut. And I thought it was going to be on an airball field. It was not. It was like wooden pallet bunkers. And like there was a helicopter in the corner that was like up high, like higher than everything else. So we played this 3-man against like a bunch of like, I don't even know, just random people from that field. Right. Yeah, but like we ended up winning it. And I was like, dude, that's so cool. And like after that, I was like watching every video. I was like, you know, here and there. Those kids ended up taking me to another field because they're like, yo, we want to practice somewhere else besides Liberty. We'll go to this field. It's actually closer to where you live. So I said, all right, great. I'd never heard of this field ever. This field is Crazy Paintball. And anyone that knows me knows that I am like the guy from Crazy Paint Paintball. Like I love that place. I worked there for like 4.5 years, 5 years, and they treated me like family, dude. They're the closest thing to like family that isn't my actual family.
Right.
Everyone from there, you know what I mean? I met some of my best friends working there. Some like, you know, Anthony is like the owner of that place is literally like my uncle, dude. Like I would do anything for him, and he would totally do anything for me. Like, but that first day I went there, I remember like my mom drove me. She dropped me off, and she's like, "Sign the waiver. See you later, dude. Like, I'm out of here." So we played there, and like that was the first experience with like a team practice. There's other teams there playing. You know, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. We have like 3 or 4 guys. We were just trying to jump in. And I remember like talking to Ant, and my mom was like, yeah, this is like his first time here. And Ant, I think, immediately like took a liking to me. And then the first point out, he was like behind the net, and he's like, yo, kid, like just run to the snake. Just run to the snake. I was like, okay, like I've seen videos of how to like doing it. Like I'll just do it.
I can run.
I was like, I know I can run. Like I played like all kinds of sports. I was like, I know I can run, but like I don't know what to do after that. So I just ran to the snake, and like immediately he saw how fast I was, and I think he was like, yo, this kid's pretty fast. We gotta like teach him how to play, because I had no clue what I was doing. And then after that, I don't think I ever went back to Liberty. I'm pretty sure I found Crazy Paint and was like, this is my home. Right. So I started playing there, and Ant's like the coolest dude ever, and like he would hook you up, like give you like a little bit of a deal if you helped him set up the field, because he had like a different setup than most fields. You had to go there, set the field up on a Sunday, and then we would literally spray wash all the bunkers, dry them with towels, fold them all up, and then put them back in a container. So it was like a lot of work, so we always needed guys.
Yeah, but the bunkers were nice.
They're primo. He's had them for I don't even know how long, and they look like they're brand new every year. So yeah, I would go out there and I would help him set it up, break down, whatever. And then eventually he said, hey man, you want to like work in the store? And I was like, yeah, sure. And at this point, I think I was like the summer of my sophomore year of high school, and then I like worked there. Even after I graduated high school, I was like working there. And dude, I learned so much about not just paintball, I learned like a lot about the industry, you know, teching guns, things like that, working on tanks. I was like so enveloped in it, and like my buddy Nick Delaney will attest to this, because I used to play on Preferred Mob with him, which is a team I played Division 2 and then eventually semi-pro on. But me and him, he became one of my best friends because we spent every single day together. Like 7 days a week, we would go Monday through Friday. Like I'm playing paintball, I'm at the store working. Then Saturday, Sunday, me and him would like get in the car, drive to Boston because we played for P-Mob. Right. 3.5 hours, we'd carpool, go play paintball for 2 days straight, come back, and then go right to work. And like we spent, I think it was over a year of like every single day. Like I was hanging out with Nick. Like that's my guy. Shout out to Nick Delaney. You remember? Love you. I love you, kid. But yeah, no, that was like kind of my start was at Crazy Paint. That was like the place that really kind of groomed me into the player I was, because Ant is like old school. And he's like, and that's kind of how I was trying to teach those kids today. Right. So he has this mindset of like, dude, just go down the field and just mess people up. Right. Let everybody else worry about it. Your job is go down the field and shoot people in the back. So that's been ingrained in me since day one. So now I'm in the position to teach these kids at the clinics, and sometimes they're a little bit more like timid or kind of hesitant, and like I'm like trying to be as quick about being, get that out of your head, dude. Yeah. Right. You're the young guy here, and I know like sometimes they're like, oh, I want to play in the back center and I want to play. No, you're young, you're fast. I didn't get to do that, so you got to go in the snake. If I never had a choice, so you don't have a choice either. So that's kind of what I was trying to teach a lot of these guys today is like, hey man, use your skills, right? Like play to your strengths. You're young, you're small, you're fast. Use that on people, you know what I'm saying? Because there's going to come a time when you can't, so like go for it. That was my biggest advice to them for sure. But yeah, that's kind of how I got the start. And then the other thing that really propelled me into playing at a high level was the Boston Combine. That was my biggest thing. I had been playing at Crazy Paint for a little bit. I was playing with a local Division 5 team there called the New York Tyrants. We were winning a couple EPL tournaments. I used to play EPL back in the day. And then I heard about this Combine thing, and I like begged my mom. I was like, Mom, dude, you have to like take me to this thing. It was on like a Friday in like the middle of February, like, and I convinced her somehow. She had like, I remember like, I don't know why, but my brother came with us too, and she had like a rental car, and she was like, fine, I'll go. So she takes us in this rental car with my brother, and we drive all the way up there. It's like whatever, 3.5 hours from where I lived at the time. And we got there, and it was like the coolest experience because I was like, oh wow, this is like legit. And I think actually the guy Brad today was asking me, hey, when was like the time that you thought like I want to play pro paintball? He was asking me in the car, and like that was it. I like went, and like I remember it was like Nick Sloviak, like Justin Rabikoff was there, Greg Sewers, all these really like top names, and I'm like, man, like I've watched so many videos of you guys, I've seen so much stuff, and like I'm so like wrapped into paintball, and I was like, this is so cool. Right. And like there's this huge crowd of kids, and they're all here for the same thing, and I was like, man, this is awesome. And I literally remember walking out, and like my mom was like, oh yeah, like go talk to this guy, like get like, something signed. They were signing everybody's stuff, and it was actually Nick Sloviak. Shout out to my boy Nick Sloviak. He's like, hey man, like you look good out there, and I'm sure he said this to like everybody, but I was like, oh thanks, dude. It was really cool to me. I was like, oh thanks, like Nick Sloviak thought I looked good out there, and he was like, oh, so I don't know what exactly he said, but he was kind of like, oh, like what are you trying to do with this? And I was like, dude, I want to play pro like you guys. Like you guys are sick. I want to play pro. And he's like, listen, dude, if you put your mind to it, you got it. You got it. And I was like, all right, fine. I remember, and I told this to Brad, actually. Nobody else knows this, but I'll put it out in the air. I got in the car that night, and I literally was driving on the highway with my mom, and I'm thinking, oh, that was like the coolest experience ever.
Yeah.
I was looking out the window, and I swear to God, I'm not making this up. This is not a funny story. Shooting star, zoom. And I was like, man, what am I going to wish for? I was like, I want to play pro paintball. That was my wish. Swear to God. That's literally the only reason I'm here was because I wished on a star. So if you make a wish, it will come true. But yeah, that's like was the moment, the Boston Combine. I was like, oh, now I learned all these new things, and then I was like, all right, now I know I'm gonna do it. I just said I'm gonna do it. And then like through high school, like now this is like my junior year of high school, I think. I became like the paintball kid. Everyone was like, yo, we get it, dude. Like you play paintball. We know. Like we know.
You don't get it though.
They thought I was pro back then. They were like, yo, this kid's like a pro paintball player. Like, dude, I play D5, like D4. I don't know anything. Like, so yeah, I did the combine. I ended up meeting the Stanton brothers, which if you're from the Northeast, those guys are like pretty big name. Yeah. Two young guys. I think they're 13, 14 at the time. I think I was the oldest out of that group. Right. But I met the Stanton brothers, Jameson and Harrison. I met little Tommy Greenleaf, my boy. I don't know where he is, but that kid was amazing.
Come back, dude.
And Tommy Greenleaf. If you're listening, dude, you need to come out of retirement. We need you. You got to save paintball. So yeah, my boy Mike McNamara and our other boy Jacob Green. So we put a little team together playing in the NEXL. And actually, funny story about this. So I was playing D5 at the time with like a team, and we had a couple wins in EPL and stuff like that. But this other team had asked me, we were called Boston Express back then, which was like the combine team. They said, yo, you want to come play NEXL with us? It's going to be like Division 4, but it's going to be X-Ball instead of 5-man. So I was like, oh, sweet. Like, I really want to play X-Ball. And I remember my tournament for D5 5-man and my tournament for D4 X-Ball was on the same weekend. So they conflicted. And me being like the immature little kid that I am, I'm like, dude, I can't just tell them because I didn't want to like make people feel bad. So I like flaked. I was like, no, I was such an asshole for this, and I regret it. And all those guys to this day, I literally saw them on Sunday. They still bust my balls about it to this day. So I said to them, I'm like, I was during my football season because it's summertime.
Yeah.
I always played football and stuff, and we had like practices in the summer. So, but this was actually like a week or two before football actually started. They're like, yeah, dude, so we have this tournament. And I said, like the Monday before the tournament, I was like, guys, like, I'm sorry, dude. They were doing like a 7-on-7 like training camp for football. I can't make it. Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's okay, dude. We understand. So I leave, and I'm trying to be like incognito. I go all the way up to NEXL. We play. We end up getting second place. Yeah. This is our first time together as a team. You actually were there.
I was there, dude. I was there.
Yeah. So
I knew these little kids. Like, you weren't there yet, so it was the Stanton brothers and Tommy. And I actually even tried to pick them up at a point, and then you guys came and got second. We were playing the same thing. I think I don't know. Did you beat us in the tournament? Was that the one we did bad? I don't know, man. I know the last one, like the last one of the year, like it was
Bone, right?
Yeah, it was us, High Velocity Wrecking Crew, and I forget who else. And I think we lost to you guys to go in the finals, which made it, and then Wrecking Crew beat whoever, and then you guys beat Wrecking Crew, but they got the series or something like that.
Yeah, some weird controversial thing. Yeah. It was, I don't even know. But yeah, we went up there, and it was our first tournament together, and we got second. So, and I was getting coached by Matt Derula and his younger brother, John. And I think Noel Tran was actually there too.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So we had like they were like putting a lot of support behind our like little team of like young guns, basically. Mm-hmm. We played a couple of tournaments that year. And going back to the story about like me sneaking to that tournament.
Oh yeah.
I literally, so we get on the podium and they're like, let's take a picture. I'm like, fuck, I can't be in this picture. I'm like, yeah, literally, I was like, I can't be seen in this. So I remember like they took the first picture and I'm like holding the trophy like this, like hiding my face. And then I'm like, oh God, I can't do it. And then I took a regular picture, and somebody they posted on Instagram. One of my teammates goes, "Yo, isn't that you?" And I'm like, no, that was like another kid from the combine. Like his name's like Tyler. Like I was trying to like deny to the end. And they're like, no. They look on the APPA and they're like, dude, that's totally you. I'm like, fuck. And then I went back and like literally was like, dude, I feel so bad. But like, honestly, I feel bad for it. But that moment was like, I met all those good people. You know what I'm saying? I met John. Right. That was a huge thing as far as like making a connection. Right. Because from that point on, I played the rest of the year with them. I did D5. I was doing D4 with Boston Express. And then the next year, so this is now coming into like whatever, February of the following year, I went to the combine again. Mm-hmm. And I played against, they usually do like the Beast of the East or whatever, right?
Right.
So I played again, but this particular year, I remember the year that I went, I think the first time, Benny Carroll won it. And it was like a huge deal. It was like a big win for him. And then the next year they did like a team thing. So it wasn't one-on-one, but it was like you had whatever your team was, and then you did like 5-man, and then it was like a group thing. So we ended up going, and like my friend Liam Bornstein like literally had food poisoning, so he like couldn't play. So we had to like ask another kid to like come play with us, and he did. And it was me, this 2 Stanton brothers, this guy James Piga, I think his name was, and then I can't remember the other kid's name, but I see him. He's from the Northeast. I see him a lot. But yeah, so we went and we played, and we ended up winning it, like the Beast of the East as a team. So it was me and the 2 Stanton brothers, and it was like, oh, awesome. And that was my second year at the combine, and the team that we beat was P-Mob. In this like,
and P-Mob's a Division II team at the time.
At the
and
time,
you guys are D4
we're
kids.
D4 like youngins, and so it was a big deal. We were like, this is crazy.
Super hyped.
So we beat them in this crazy controversial point. It was like I went to the snake off the break. I shot like 1 or 2 guys, and then I was dead walking off. And then it came down to like a 2-on-2 or something with the Stanton brothers. And then like Harrison like shoots the guy on the snake side. The last guy left alive is my boy Evan Ames. Screw you, Evan. I love you. But he's the last guy alive. And then Harrison like literally does this insane like from the snake corner, coast to coast. Evan was in like the Dorito too, like all the way across the field, like running jump, like bunkers him in the head. Yeah. And then like Evan spun or something, and like I just remember Harrison like blah 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 blah, like freaking out.
Those kids out of
Yeah,
mouth.
they always scream. They always scream and go crazy. So like they were freaking out, and then it was like this huge controversial thing. The refs like settle it, and then they're like, okay, like you guys win. And we were like, fuck, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
It was absolutely insane. But from that day on, I was wearing like a red Crazy Paint jersey, and one of the guys from P-Mob, my buddy Jared, was like, oh, you're from Crazy Paint? Like, oh, I know that place. Like I live in that same area. Right. So I was like, oh, cool. So I kind of talked to him, and then after that, they were like, yo, like we want you to come play for us. And I was like, sweet. Like, I'm this little ass kid from New York. I don't know anybody. Right. And, like, just because I went to this combine thing and happened to, like, get my name out there and do all these different things, that is what put me in a position to, like, now succeed and go forward. So from that point on, I started playing for Preferred Mob. I was with them like 4 years. I started playing my first event with Preferred Mob in 2017.
It was a big jump. So you went from
huge
D4
jump.
to D2.
D4 X-Ball to D2 X-Ball. Now I'm playing locals to going to playing nationals and stuff. Yeah. Like, so it was a huge jump. But the thing that sucked about it was it ended up like breaking up our whole like Young Guns team though. Right. So like the Stantons went on eventually to play for Wreckage and them. And Tommy actually retired. My buddy Mike, he kind of plays a little bit, and Jacob plays a little bit out of ops sometimes. But we basically broke up after that. Right. So I went and was like doing my own thing, which sucks, but like that's what you got to do sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not.
It's best for you
those are still some of my closest friends. I see them at the field. I love those guys to death, and like you know what I mean. But I mean, my whole goal was now I want to play pro. Right. So I was even telling some of the guys at the clinic today. I was like, listen, dude, if there's not good enough competition where you are, you got to go find it. Right. You got to go find it because you're going to be stagnant if you don't do that. Mm-hmm. So that was my whole mindset. I was like, oh, now I have an opportunity to go play better people, play at a higher level, and learn new things. So I went and I played with them. So the guy that got me on the team basically was John Derula. He plays for the Hurricanes now. Mm-hmm. But he kind of hooked me up. So first year, we didn't really do that good, honestly, on PMOB. But like it was my first year. So like I think we got 6th place like 2 or 3 times in a row. And this was Texas. So it was like the second event of the year. I missed Vegas that year. Played the whole season with them. It was awesome. I was like, yo, these guys are great. Dean Carlton, shout out to Dean. That guy's like the best. I'm sad that team's not a thing anymore. But yeah, that guy's literally the best owner ever. Took such good care of all of us. Really loved paintball. Really loved like bringing people on to like play and like enjoy it. But so yeah, I played with them for like 3 to 4 years, I think. My buddy Nick, I eventually got him on the team. So like Nick would ride with me and my buddy Jared. All three of us were from New York, so everybody else was from Maine, New Hampshire.
So how far were you driving for people that don't
3.5 hours
Yeah.
from Westchester, New York. That's where the three of us were from. But yeah, 3.5 hours every single weekend. I was 17 or 18. I didn't even graduate high school yet. I was like 17 or 18. I just got my license. So we would carpool. We would rotate cars and stuff like that. But yeah, 3.5 hours, sometimes for a one day too. We didn't always do doubles. Like we would go up on a Sunday, wake up at like 5 a.m. Brutal. Literally brutal. Some of the hardest points of my life. But we did it because we had such a great deal. And those were the better players were.
Right.
You know, it was like a no-brainer. We were like, hey, if you want to get better, this is what you have to do. So that's what we did. And then I stayed with them up until 2018 was when we were kind of like in full form. We had lost a couple guys, and then we picked up Kilbashin and Nicolo from the Bandits.
Right.
And like that was crazy to me because when I was younger, but this is before the comment and all that, I would watch videos. And I was like looking for teams in the Northeast. They were like the guys. They were playing D2 or semi-pro maybe at the time, but they were like winning and like doing a lot of crazy stuff. I would watch videos of Benny Carroll like coaching them and like their practice and stuff.
Yeah, they had like a good program going.
They had a great program. So I was like, man, those guys seem so legit. Like if I could only play for a team like that. And then they ended up playing with me. And like, dude, when I tell you, like those guys are really smart paintball players. I learned a different kind of paintball from them because in New York, like I said, Ant was very old school. Get in the snake, go down, shoot people. Those guys, very methodical, very like know the game plan, you know what I'm saying? Live behind your gun kind of thing. So they taught me really how to slow down because a lot of young people have this problem, and I did too. I still have this problem to this day. You're kind of overly aggressive and you overextend, and then you're kind of like doing too much, right? That was like my biggest problem. And still to this day, I struggle with that. You know what I mean? And it's like a thing you always have to work on. But you don't want to be not aggressive, but you want to be doing smart.
Right.
They taught me so much about how to be smart. You know what I'm saying? Like Matt, Nicolo, and Kyle Correa as well, too. Those guys, I learned so much with them. And my boy Truck Stop, Adam Rand, was our coach on PMOB at the time. Dude, those guys taught me a lot about like the little small details, how these little things really add up. That's kind of what paintball is.
Right.
It's all these little tiny things, and you have to kind of just perfect each little one, and then you're going to get where you need to be, right? So that was a huge learning experience playing with those guys. 2018, I won my first national event ever, which was Texas D2, and crazy tournament. Literally sick tournament. It was pouring rain the first 2 days.
Shocker.
Yeah, not a shocker. If you played in Texas, you know. It was pouring rain the first 2 days, literally ankle deep mud, and like we make it through the prelims. I think we were like 3-1 or something. We're like, dude, we're looking good. We go on. We had a lot of like really close games, like going into the finals, and they're like, "Hey, we're about to be in the finals. We're gonna play in the pro field." I'm like, dude, I'm on like the third year of my like journey in paintball. I guess you would say. Like I was playing when I was like 10 in the woods, whatever. But this is like my like real thing.
When you started taking it serious.
Exactly. I was like, this is a huge fucking deal. And I remember like my Evan Ames was like, we're winning this game. I'm not going home unless I get a gold medal. I don't care. So we played this game, and like it was a nice field. Like for me, it was a huge ass ladder snake and like big bunkers in the middle. We played like lights out, dude. We played against Louisville Asylum in the finals. Good team. Yeah, great team. They have like a lot of really good guys. And we played them. It was a close game. We ended up going up, and they kind of started to come back. And then we kind of put it away on them. But dude, it was insane. We won it, and like I'll never forget. We like walk out. We all go to like the thing. Mind you, I'm like 17 or 18. We all go to the thing, and like we buy like beers and stuff. We start filling the trophy up. Everyone's taking pictures, drinking out of the trophy, blah blah blah.
Right.
And like the most electric feeling was like after you're like all exhausted. We took pictures and all this stuff. We're already off the podium and stuff at this point. And I'm exhausted. I've just played the most paintball my entire life. I'm so tired. And like I played a lot of sports, dude. I played lacrosse. I was a football player. I was a wrestler. I've never been more tired than playing paintball. You know what I'm saying? Like the strain on your body, especially being a front guy, the strain on your body, and like you're playing so many points in X ball and like for 3 days straight in the heat and the rain and the mud. Like I was doing it all. Yeah. And I was like exhausted. And like I remember we're like in the parking lot going to the rental car, and we're like gearing down. And Nick Sonsini pulls up in his rental car. He's like a photographer for the NXL. He pulls up and he just starts blasting, "We are the champions." And we were just like, finally, like we fucking did it. And I think for the Bandits guys, that was their first win too, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they only got second places, from what I understand. Yeah. All three of those guys, they would go to the finals and they would lose like Distortion or something like that, whatever it may be, because like semi-pro at that point was really really hard.
Yeah.
And dude, yeah, so that was their first win too. My buddy Nick had won Nashville the year that Outlaws or NYX kind of won it.
In
Right.
D4,
And then-
right?
In D4, Stingray All-Stars. Shout out to Stingray All-Stars. But, yeah, he won that in D4. My buddy Nick ended up going to London, and he won another one in London.
Yeah, but they had Scott Kemp on
Dude,
their
I
team
know.
in London.
To this day, he's like, yeah, I still got more national wins than you, dude. And I'm like, dude, you had Scott Kemp, and you were in London playing D3, which is like D6.
Yeah.
So it was insane. But, yeah, no, that was like my first win, and a lot of guys on the team's first win. Or, I'm sorry, no, actually, P-Mob had one win before that. P-Mob won Nashville, too, in D2 that year. That was their first national.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's right. Okay, because I remember Nashville that year. Northeast was like kicking
On
ass.
top.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
kicking ass. So that was like my first national win, and I was like, it's crazy. We played the rest of that year. I think the next event we didn't do so hot, but then Chicago that year we got third. That was the year when like the snake was like the big brick and like that Y shape.
Yeah.
That was a great field for us. We were playing really good, and then who the fuck did we lose to? I don't even know. I can't remember who we lost to.
Because what is it, 17?
Maybe it was the Jit. No, we beat the Jits. Fuck. I can't remember who lost to. Anyway, so we go, and then like we lost our game on Sunday. It was like our first game on Sunday to whoever. I think it was Gulf Coast Hurricanes. Fuck those guys. I hate those guys. Anyway, so we lost to them, and then we go. They tell us we got to play for third and fourth. So we're like already defeated because like everyone on the team's mindset is like, if you ain't first, you last.
Right.
Which is how you
100%.
should be.
That's why I hate those third and fourth games, man. It's like,
Dude, you never seen a more like everyone's light from their face drop than when this ref comes over and goes, "Hey guys, just want to let you know you got to play for third and fourth." And we're like, "Shut the fuck up." We're like,
right, yeah.
we don't want to hear it, dude, because we didn't want to play. So we go, and like everyone was so pissed from losing because we thought we were playing so fucking good, and we lost a close game to Gulf Coast, and we were just like, bro, how? Like, we're not gonna do this. So some people were like, literally, I'm not going on the field, and then the rest of us kind of had to just suck it up and go fucking do it.
Right.
And like it sucked. I took it differently. I was like, I'm mad. I'm gonna go fuck these guys up. And
Yeah.
Right.
we actually played Louisville Asylum for the third and fourth game, which is funny.
all right.
And when I tell you, we were all so mad, we fucked them up. I think the score was like 6-1 or something. Crazy. Oh wait, hold on. Now that I think about it, it was DMG who we lost to, and it was Ben Challenger that fucked us. That's who it was. I ran through, I bunkered the guy, slid in, shot another guy in the leg, and then Ben Challenger ran me down on the tape, and I like got shot in the back and went like this, didn't even shoot at him, and then they were like major penalty, and that's the one that fucked us. Now I remember, it was DMG. Fuck you, Ben Challenger. But yeah, that was the game. But like, we had a good event, and like we already had a national win, and then we got a third. Like, we were looking really good as a team.
All right.
yeah.
And then I don't know. I think the next year following, now this is going into 2019. We lost a couple guys. Some of our guys kind of like quit or phased out. My boy Jared, who was like a star player for us, like he was our Dorito guy. He's actually like local here. He probably played in Long Island.
Jared, yeah, he's
Kasharian.
playing New World Order.
Yeah,
With the K.
yeah, Kasharian.
yeah.
I don't really know how to pronounce it. Kasharian, Jared, my boy.
Yeah, Jared. Yeah,
my guy.
He played on New World Order, dude. He used to have like a JT like house strap or something like that.
Yep. MILF Hunters. He used to rock the
MILF
MILF
Hunters,
Hunters jersey. Yeah. So no, he's nasty to this day. He's still nasty, and he left because he had like some real life things going on. My boy Evan like got a girlfriend and had some real life things going on, so he like left. Screw you, Evan. And then my buddy Nick was like not really getting the playing time he wanted, so he kind of left. So now like a lot of my friends were like leaving, and then I was like, we still had a solid team, but we just weren't doing good that year for whatever reason. I think this is when they brought like the the year before they had that. I don't know why, we just weren't doing good. I couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit just was not working. I don't know. People were butting heads. We had Jeff Stein on the team at one point, and then he kind of had beef with like the Bandits guys. So he left, and now like that, he was like the guy that kept us all organized. So now he left, and then now we were kind of having to run the show. It was just like weird. So like we played 3 events with them, and then I had played the States tournament earlier this year. So this is 2019 now. I had played the Great States tournament at Fox 4. That was like the first year they did it, I think. With Bo actually asked me, because we used to practice against Bo all the time. That's like how I know those guys.
Yeah.
So Bo from New York Xtreme asked me, say, hey, yo, you're from New York, like come play for us in the States tournament. And I went there, played like solid, whatever, and then
Dude, weren't you late though?
here we go. Had to call me out. Yeah, so I showed up a game late. Bo like chewed my head off, and then
But this late to your own tryout.
this is basically my tryout, and I was late to my first tryout. So embarrassing. So I show up to the game, missed the first game. I show up. Bo's like, listen, dude, if you don't go out there and get fucking 4 kills a fucking game, I don't even know what I'm going to do. He's just chewing my head off. Pat shows up, and he's 2 games late. And Pat strolls in like, la da 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 da. He's like smiling, laughing, high-fiving people on his way in. He walks up to Bo, and he goes, hey, like, where do you want me to play? Bo literally goes like, where do you want me to play? That's the first thing you say to me? He starts freaking out, and he literally ripped Pat a new asshole. He was like, are you kidding me? That's the first thing you say to me? And, like, I learned quick, like, Bo's biggest pet peeve is when people are late.
Yeah.
So he's like, don't be fucking late. So whatever, we like sack it up. We start playing. They already lost like the first 2 games because like I came in late, Pat came in late. But then after that, we started playing pretty good. And I don't know, we didn't win that tournament. But Bo basically at the end of it was like, hey man, like I don't want to bring you on now, but I just want to let you know, like at some point, I want you to start like kind of training with us. I was like, all right, cool. So I play the rest of the year with PMOB. We get to Philadelphia, which is like that really shitty muddy event as well.
Yeah.
I hated that field too. I did not like the snake in that field.
Yeah, we didn't do too well.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh,
we went 0-4.
Oof.
Which is not a good look. A lot of argument kind of stuff going on, just like a lot of bullshit. So they were already talking to me, and at this point I was kind of like, listen, I think I want to go like explore like another opportunity, another avenue. Jeff Stein at this point had been off the team for like a year, and he was like talking about reviving the Hurricanes. When Jeff was on the team, I liked the way he ran it. He was very organized. He made it so like we as players didn't have to worry about much besides playing paintball, which is really what you want out of any camp organization. I think when he left, we kind of became like player coaches. So like we go out on the field and we're kind of like making the decisions ourselves, which can work, but not preferred.
Not long term.
You need like a chief. I think that's a big thing. You need a chief. So
Dude, people lie.
No, seriously, yeah,
For real.
yeah.
Or
It happens.
even I'm not gonna say you lie, but like so many times we're like, yo, I shot that guy, and you convinced and you had that you fucking shot that guy, but you missed him.
Right, because you want to be on the field.
Yeah, exactly. And you
know?
need that coach to be like, nah, man, listen,
You're
you did what
done.
I wanted you to do, but you fucking missed that, dude.
Exactly. So that was like a big deal for us. And then, Jeff was reviving the Hurricanes. He said, yeah, I'm going to bring back a couple big names. I'm going to try and get Keith Brown. I'm going to have Derula on a team, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, that sounds like a pretty good deal. He's like, I'll hook you up with a die setup. You're going to be fine. Okay. So I was like, talk to Dina. I was like, listen, Dean, like, I think I want to explore some new options, blah, blah, blah. I guess through the grapevine, like, it gets like, Bo got a call saying like, hey, like, Tim's going to try for the Hurricanes. I don't even know how it got to him. And then I remember like, at this time, I used to work at like Starbucks. And I remember like being at work in Starbucks. And I get a call from Bo Milo. I'm like, what the fuck is Bo calling me? And I like run outside and I'm like on the phone. And my manager's like, what are you doing? I was like, yeah, I gotta take this real quick. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm standing outside the sidewalk. He goes, yo, listen, dude. Like, I heard you're gonna go try for the Hurricanes, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. I want you to come play for us. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I want you to come play for us. You're not gonna be like a starter or anything. I just want you to come practice with us, come to the events, kind of see how it works out. And then when you're ready, like by next year, maybe when you're ready, we'll get you in there. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down. I literally was like, yeah, I'm in. Bet. Pro paintball for a New York team. Say less, dude. I've been playing in Massachusetts for 4 years. I want to come back to New York and fuck shit up. So I immediately agree, and like I hung up the phone, and I go back into work at Starbucks, and my manager's like, what's up? And I'm like, dude, I think I'm going to be a professional paintball player. And like they all knew I played paintball. I was like, I think I'm about to play professional paintball. And they were like,
I quit.
yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Nah. I'm quitting right now. No, so they were like, oh, that's cool. So whatever. I ended up playing with them. And so now I think after Philly was Chicago, right? That was like my first pro event with NYX. And we go there. I wasn't expecting to play at all, but in practice, I was like giving it 110%. I'm like trying to do the most I can. This is the event with the unicorn jerseys. We had.
Oh my god.
So yeah, we had to wear those, and so we go out there, and my first pro point. I love this story. My first pro point. I go out there. We're playing the Russians. I haven't played at all this tournament. This is like I don't even know what game. Playing the Russians. We're basically already out of the tournament because we're getting fucked up. And the Russians are shitting on us left and right, and they're like, just put Stelzl in somewhere. So they put me in. They're like, kid, just run to the Dorito corner, get after it. And I'm like, all right, bet. So I run to the Dorito corner. I Superman dive. We had GI Sports loaders. I slam this loader into the ground. Whole thing explodes. This is my first professional point. Whole thing explodes. The tray goes flying out of bounds.
They did those a lot, those loaders.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Shout to Virtue. You know it doesn't do that. Virtue Spire 3 and Spire 4, dude. Get yours today. Anyway, so we go out there. I slam my gun into the ground. I'm like, God, you're kidding me, right? This is my first point. So now I'm in the corner, and I'm literally holding a pod over the bottom tray of this GI Sports loader that's in my gun. And I'm going down the field playing against the best paintball players in the world from Russia. And it's literally Barytnikov in like the snake side can shooting cross on me. And I'm like one-balling him, just dive. One-balling him, just dive. I make it to the Dorito 3. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll be able to do something. Now Barytnikov is so close to me that I can't even look out of the bunker. He's like so accurate. I would go high, he would shoot high. I would go low, he like knew exactly where I was. So I'm like, I can't battle him, but we were down points, down time, so I was like just trying to make it happen. Polyakov like slides out to the corner, blows my fucking head off. And I was like walking back to the pits, my loader is like in pieces, completely wrecked, couldn't fix it because all the clips snapped off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, first pro point, guys, nice. And if anybody else knows, that was like a crazy point for NYX. I mean, a crazy tournament for NYX because there was like a lot of like beef going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In that particular event. I won't go into detail. There's a lot of crazy shit. And I remember like walking away and people were like, yo, Tim, like, so what'd you think of your first pro event? I'm like, sick, dude. Like, this is great. My team's falling apart. My loader sucks. Like, it was not a good time. But no, I mean, it ended up working out, you know, and then we went to World Cup. I played a little bit more in World Cup. I got a few spins on the webcast and stuff like that. And we looked solid in World Cup. And then after that year, we cut Jared Lackey. Now this is going into 2020. It's 2020 off season. So we cut Lackey. We cut our boy Josh, who still plays with us. R.I.P. Josh. Love you though. But we cut a couple guys, and then now they're saying like we brought Zadi back, and they're like, hey, dude, like, you know, you're young, you're a rookie and stuff like that, but like we want to know if we can like rely on you. And, like, to me, that was, like, that meant a lot because I was like, dude, you guys are taking a chance on me. You're giving me all these opportunities, making it easy for me to play. And, like, I was like, word, I'm going to, like, come out hot. I know that. I was like, 2020, I want to, like, make my name known. I've had 2 events in the pros. I barely played. I was like, this is the event that I'm going to come out and be like, this is who I am. So, all off season, like, me and Harris, like, always fucking played. In the freezing cold, in the rain, whatever. We were like, let's get after it. Like, we were so ready just for the season to start, and we're going to do it. So Vegas comes, we're grinding it out. I think first weekend we flew to like Indiana, or no, second weekend we did. First weekend we went to Florida. We played Damage, which was sick. Got to play Damage, got to play against Aftermath, and the ML Kings were there, but we didn't play them. Then the next weekend we went and played the Outlaws in Indiana for 2 days. And then now I'm flying out to this tournament. And I was playing pretty solid in practice and stuff like that. So I remember like on the flight to the tournament, Harris was like, yo, dude, you're going to be like this. You're going to start. He's like, if you keep playing like this, you're going to start. Just be prepared to like be in there a lot. And I was like, okay, cool. So we got there. We practiced against, I don't even know who we fucking practiced against. I don't know. But we practiced against somebody. We looked solid. Oh, we practiced against Dynasty and Heat, I think. So that was like perfect. This is a great test.
Yeah.
Great test. So we go in, we do our thing. Dynasty was like shooting us off the break like crazy. I was having a hard time getting to like that forward tower. And I was not looking great in practice. I'm not a practice player ever. So I was like, fuck, man, I hope we do good. We go out there. We ended up going 2-0 on the first day, which was great. I played a little bit in the Outlaws match, and then I don't even know who we played second. Then we played Revo next, right? I think so.
Yeah,
Revo was the first day, and then X Factor was the second day.
Right. Yeah,
right. So we won our first 2 games. The Revo game for me was great. I had like I was playing good. Because, Matt DeRule's on that team. He coached me. I have beef with Stephen Omar. No, I'm just kidding. Stephen Omar just used to fuck me up when I was younger, so I wanted to fuck him up. I know Frank from over there. Frank's a Long Island guy. You guys all know him. Yeah. So it's like a little bit of a grudge match, and I think that's a good team to have a grudge match with.
Yeah, it does good for I think it does good for the game, too.
Oh, absolutely. 2 East Coast teams. They're a top 4 team. We're trying to come up, and, it was an exciting game. Ended up going to overtime. I pulled my calf like halfway through the game, and I literally could not stand. I was like so dehydrated from like being in the desert and all this stuff. So then Robbie actually came in, and he stepped up clutch because we needed Robbie. A bunch of our guys were injured. I think Will rolled his ankle in Florida when we were
practicing. Because he didn't even practice with you guys.
No.
He was with us the week before.
Robbie wasn't even on the team at this point.
Yeah.
Robbie was like, because we had a falling out with Sinelli.
All right. Yeah.
So Robbie's like, yo, listen, Sinelli's my boy. If he's not on the team, I don't want to play. So we're like,
Right.
listen, we love you, Robbie, but we respect that. So because that's your boy.
Right.
Absolute 100% respect for that. But then when we needed him, we're like, dude, 2 of our guys are injured. Zadi's ankle's been fucked up for like over a year.
Damn.
And it's still not really healed at this point.
Dang.
We need guys.
Yeah.
Because so he came back. He was like, listen, I'll put my pride aside. You guys need me, I'll come back and play, which was amazing because we needed him. We really did. So when the time came, I pulled my calf, and I'm like, now I'm out for this game. This is our second game of the day. I'm like, fuck. So Robbie comes in. He starts playing lights out. We're like, boom, off the bench. Like, that's exactly what we needed. Takes it to overtime. We end up winning it. We're like, dude, that was awesome. We haven't beat, and I think at that point we hadn't beat Revo in like 4 games that we played them, including like last year. So that was a big one. They always beat us, and then we finally beat them after like a minute. And then, yeah, it was like a great day. And then awesome story, because in the practice before the event, this is a story about Bo Milo, because Bo Milo is a beast. If anyone tells you different, they're lying. So Bo Milo in the practice, he likes to get spins with us, and we're like, absolutely, dude, you're our guy.
Hell yeah.
So Bo goes out there and we're playing, and Zadi dies early, so Bo has to fill from like the back center to like the Dorito. He hits like a double knee slide, but he hits it weird, and Bo tore his quad muscle.
Oh.
Like bad, dude. And he has issues where he would like dislocate his knee and stuff, so that's what we thought it was. We're like, oh shit, everyone dead field, we gotta help our guy. So we help him, we get Bo off the field, we're like trying to carry him off the field. He's like, yo, get the fuck off me. And he's like, because he's like tough guy, dude. He's an absolute beast of a human being. So he walks off, and he's like, yeah, nah, I'm good. But, like, you could tell he was hurting because, like, you know when, like, you're really hurting and, like, you get, like, pale skin?
Yeah, because you're kind of, like, panicking a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But he's, like, not sure. He's like, I'm fine. And, dude, his leg was, like, a huge black and blue, like, circle like this. Like on this and we're like, dude, that doesn't look good. Like, you should maybe get checked. I'm fine. We go to, like, CVS. We get him crutches. He's like, fuck these crutches. He's like, I'm not using these things. And we're in Vegas, too, and Bo's a big-time gambler. So he's out there like, at the roulette table, standing, whatever. Later on, we come to find out he tears his quad. And, like, he flies on a plane, and the doctor's like, dude, you could have died. Like, you could have got, like, a blood clot or some shit.
Dang.
But, yeah, dude, he's like a beast. And he was walking on the whole tournament. Didn't give a damn.
Wild.
But, yeah, he was really happy that we went 2-0. So he took us out to this like awesome place. We were staying in Caesar's Palace. Took us out to the sickest steak dinner of my entire life. I mean, like, it's super expensive. He brings these huge, giant, like, seafood platter trays. There's like 3 of them, massive. Comes out, we eat the steak. And then I remember Pat Kraft was telling me a story about how the previous year, our guy Nick Irvin was like, they got like a Louis XIII shot, which is like that shot that's like $150 for a little shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
And one of them, I don't know what the story was. One of them was passing it to them like behind their back like this, and they like fumbled it and dropped this $150 shot of whiskey. So like they used to bust each other's balls about it for the longest time. And like as a thank you, Pat and his father were like, "Yo, let's get him a shot. We'll get him a shot of it." And it's cool because they bring out this huge tray. This big ceremony. This guy's got like white gloves and like a purple satin suit, whatever. And he takes out this huge like stainless steel syringe. He sticks it in this gigantic glass thing. He said it was like $3,500 for like this one thing of whiskey. He sticks it in this huge thing and he like extracts this little shot and like gives it to Bo. And he's like, "Yo, try this. It's like the most expensive whiskey you'll ever have in your life." So he like passes it around. We all took like a little tiny sip, and I gave it back. Oh, dude, it was like the coolest dinner of my entire life. Shout out to Bo Milo. You're the best. But yeah, he was also killing it on the roulette table at that tournament. Killing it. So he was in a good mood, even though he fucked his leg up. We went 2-0. Now we come to the next day. We played the Ironmen first on Saturday in Vegas, and they shit on us. 6-1, I think was the final score. Nick Sloviak was literally decimating us on the snake side. And yeah, we just didn't have an answer. They literally had our number left and right.
You weren't the only team.
No, yeah, they look great. A-Rod looked great. I mean, not a lot to say about that. And then we go on to X Factor. To me, this is another big game because when I was younger, I used to get coached by Billy's a Connecticut guy.
Yeah.
So I used to go to his Wednesday nights at the Outback, and I would go play with him as much as possible. Archie, even when Grayson was on the team, a couple times Rainey came with us, but Dean from Preferred Mob used to like, "Hey, like you guys come coach our team. I'll throw you guys a couple bucks."
Right.
So he would come. When they had their games that were like at the right time, they would come in our pits and literally coach us, which is the coolest thing.
I remember seeing them when you guys won Nashville, right?
Texas. Yeah. So they were like in our pits, which was awesome. And when we were doing that, like LJ Woodley was in our pits. He's like a New York guy. That was super cool.
He went to school with me, man.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, that's who I thought. Like back in the day, I was like, "Oh my god, this dude's a pro.
Like
He's got to be a pro."
Yeah.
He was like playing D2, but like I was like, "Dude, this dude's a pro."
Awesome.
He's going to Chicago for practice.
What? Yeah, that's so cool. But yeah, so they were in our pits and like they used to help us all the time. And now I'm going from being like the student to being like a competitor now. So I'm against Billy, literally like I would say like probably my idol, like in the snake. You're a Northeast guy and you're like one of the top guys in the snake. And now you taught me, now I'm like against you. So
right now I'm trying to give it to you.
Dude, literally we just lost a 6-1 game and I'm like, let's go. I want to go eat right now and show these guys like where I've come from. Like you saw me when I was playing D2, whatever, like losing games on Sunday, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm here and now I'm playing you. I want to show my stuff.
Right, I belong.
Right, exactly. Like these guys at the time, they're like the top team right now. You know what I'm saying? I think the year before they were winning.
Series champs.
Series champs. They're world champs. Big chip on my shoulder for this game. I'm like, I want to go in here and like show my stuff. So like I go in there, and I remember the first 2 points. I think we lost the first 2 points, and like I was just not. The first one I was up against Archie like in the Snake Towers. And we both broke short, and I'm like, oh shit, it's fucking Archie. He puts me in, and I'm literally like, but I don't want to let him get in the snake. So I'm trying to roll off, and he's like edging out. I'm like, fuck. So I like engage a little bit. I'm like, dude, he's gonna fucking shoot me. Like the third or fourth time I engage, Cyclopses me in the face. I'm like, fuck, not a good look, dude. I go in the pits. My coach, Jesse Benoit, is like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, slam the clipboard down. What the hell are you thinking? Tighten the fuck up. Boom. Next point, I don't even remember what happened. I think I got shot with a brick maybe the next point. Not looking good. He's like, he literally grabbed me by the jersey and said, you got to go out there and be the fucking kid we need you to be. Get the fuck in there. Boom. Third point, I literally was like, snake off the break. I made it. Billy made the snake at the same time. I was like, fuck it. I crawled on the inside all the way down to his snake one hand gangster got him in the fucking face. Didn't do a lot. Yeah. Got my 1 kill and traded out. Yeah. That was it. But we ended up winning that point, and that was like the turning point. And then we kind of started to pick it up from there.
Build momentum, yeah.
No, for sure. And then, that was like a huge moment for me. I was like, this is insane. And then after that, I felt so much more comfortable. Like that, like got my confidence up. But like that's what you need to do when you're like that young guy. And it comes back to like we were saying about the kids in the clinic. Like if you're a young kid and you're trying to come up as like a front player, you gotta like be ballsy and you gotta take your lumps. You're gonna be down. You're gonna lose. You're gonna, it's not gonna go your way every single time. But it's about having like that mental tenacity to get up and go do it again until you get it right. Get it right. And it's like I think that's what a lot of players that are struggling to kind of break that mold. That's what you need to have is like that mental fort. You can't be like a mental midget. You have to have like that mental fortitude to be like, I'm getting shot off the break. You're a front guy. It's going to happen. I'm only getting 1 kill. I'm trading out. You're a front guy. It's going to happen. Like you are expendable. So once you understand that role, you're going to take off like that. It's just so much better when you realize like all I got to do is shoot the guy in front of me and maybe get 1 more. And then you're good to go. Exactly. Yeah. You did your job. So in my head, I was just like, get in there, get 1 or 2, just keep doing it. Get 1 or 2. And then I had another point where I got in the snake and like, I remember the announcer, I think it was like Rich Selfridge, like, I'm looking, LJ Woodley starts running through the middle. I'm like, oh shit. Boom, I smoke him. And like Colt Roberts was like in the same line, like in the Dorito insert. Yeah. And I like shoot him in the pack. And like I remember on the video, they're like, what is this snake player doing looking inside? Holy shit, 2 kills for NYX, blah, blah, blah. And then I go down and I like bunkered one last guy. And like I literally, at that point, I'm like staring, I'm like looking in the pits. I'm like, yeah, let's eat, baby. I'm starting to get my confidence up. And I'm like, let's go.
Like, you're feeling the loader dump almost.
No. I've loader dumped before, but it's not my thing. I gotta have my own thing. Yeah. So like I walk off and I'm like, dude, Nick Irvin, shout out to Nick Irvin, cause this kid had my blood boiling. Yeah. He's like, yeah, let's go. Like, dude, he's the greatest hype man that's ever hyped a man, like ever. And he just had me going, and like and then we beat them. That's the world champs. So we're like riding high. Yeah, we're 3-1. We're riding high. We just beat the world champs, whatever. Let's go. We make it on to Sunday. We squeak by. Because in Vegas, I think we still needed to, it was by like point margin or whatever that we squeaked by. Because it was like a 3-way tie with, I don't even know who, Infamous maybe, somebody else. I can't remember. So. I'm terrible with the scores, and so I never pay attention to
I know it was a tie. I don't remember who you tied.
It was a crazy 3-way tie, and I remember like our fate was in the hands of the ML Kings. And it was like the ML Kings versus Seattle Thunder. Mm-hmm. And our boy Kyle Berry, shout out to Kyle Berry. KB plays on the ML Kings. Right. So we're literally like in the pits. He was next to us. He just watched us win. Yeah. So we're like, Kyle Berry, you have to win this game. You need to have the game of your fucking life right now. So we go over and we're like, we're not going to leave until we watch this game. And this is like in Vegas too. Like if you guys remember, like the sun is like going down. It's basically dark. Yeah. The bunkers are deflated as fuck. We're like, you guys got to go out there. They're playing Seattle Thunder. And so we're sitting in the VIP, and we're like, they have to win this game for us to move on. But it was like a very close game, and I think they went up in like the last couple minutes, and they had to like hold basically against Thunder. So Thunder's like running at them, and like Kyle Berry's like just in the first Dorito, just like wheeling and dealing in this last point. He's like shooting people. He gets killed. We're like, oh no. One guy's running down. He's like about to hang the buzzer. Boom, he gets killed. We're like, no way, they just won. Me and Harris are sitting right next to her. We're like, no way, they just won. Final thing, game point, like ML Kings win. We're like, wow, we start going crazy. We sprint over to the pro pits. We're going nuts. We literally were celebrating like the ML Kings just won World Cup. Yeah, and like they were like world champions. They were not moving on, so we're freaking out. Yeah, we're like hyping them up. They're like, why are you guys so excited? Why are you guys so excited? They're like, oh, like you guys moved on. We're like, oh, we got it. So we end up moving on. We go to Sunday and we play X Factor again. Ooh, big deal. We didn't do so good. We did not do so good.
It's tough. They're one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, dude, and it's Sunday now, so the game is different. So we get out there on Sunday, not looking good. Had a couple decent points that we would throw away. I know we had one point where like I had gone down and I shot one guy. I think it was in like the back center. Trade out with Billy, so snake side's clear. I'm like, oh, word, we got a chance. This was like a turning point kind of point. Word, we got a chance. I start walking back. And then Will Hennessy's running down the field, about to finish the game. There's like 2 guys left. He's about to go shoot them. Harris like shoots him in the back of the head. We're like, dude, no. Harris gets up. He tries to finish the game. He gets shot. We're like, bro, like, come on. And that kind of just like took the wind out of our sails. Because I think like people started kind of arguing and stuff like that.
It's tough when people argue too.
I don't even. Yeah, for sure. When you gotta just, and that's the same thing about like the mental fortitude that this game takes, right? You're gonna be down, and you have to come back, and that's the biggest thing in any sport, really.
Yeah.
Right. You think Michael Jordan was like winning every single game? No.
No, it's funny. Like you were talking about before, I wanted to bring it up. Like so many dudes I talked to that are actually like pretty decent at paintball were wrestlers, and it's like I think it goes to like that. Like it was a big deal in my high school, and I wrestled for a long time, and like. Bro, they like beat you down as like a human. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
Our warm up was a 5-mile run before we started. Like, I was gassed before we like
and cutting weight.
Cutting weight. And I just feel like if you've gone through stuff like that, the mental fortitude is there for people like that.
Yeah, man. Definitely. I think a lot of the sports that I played, like I came from a school where our sports was like really big. Especially football was really important, you know. And I was lucky enough to have really great coaches. Shout out to Mace and Lamar. Those are my guys. But yeah, I had really good coaches, and they taught me a lot about what it takes to like be a winner.
To be great, yeah.
Yeah, because like we came from a team when I was like coming up through like football and stuff like that. Our school was not that great. We were like a B class team, and then like we won one sectionship, and then we moved on, and then they were like, "Listen, you guys are the only chance we have to win like a state title." Basically, we were like the last decently good team. We ended up going like 11-0 up until the state semifinals, and we lost. So like I had gone like through this whole like other sport of like winning and like seeing like the mentality that all the players around you have when like you're just everyone's on. We all have the same goal, and we're not gonna stop until we achieve it, right? So like whenever I think about paintball and stuff like that, and you see like your teammates arguing and you see all those things, I think back to when I was playing football with like all my homies from home, like from back home, and like how the atmosphere was there at practice and at games and all that stuff, what that mentality was. And I always try and bring that mentality that I had into paintball and try and bring that same mentality to my teammates in paintball, because to me that was like the epitome of like, these guys are champions,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what it takes to bring that around. You need to have like the culture and stuff. Like we had like the culture, right? But I think in paintball you need to have that too. No, and I think right now for our team, I feel like we kind of lack that. Like we need to have like more of that chip on our shoulder. Not just, hey, we're from New York. Not just we're the loud fucking guys, we're talking shit. But we need to be like, dude, we're from the fucking East Coast. We get down and dirty when we fucking have to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to start having that chip on our shoulder and like just being like, no matter what, we're going to go out there and fucking get it.
Right.
You know?
Dude, we play in the snow. We're fucking hard. You eat the goddamn West
Coasters. Yeah, straight up, Ryan Greenspan. You guys are soft, man. Playing in 75, sunny, dry heat all day. Dude, come on. I'm playing in the snow the first half of the year, and then the end of the year I'm also playing in the snow.
Right.
So what the hell?
Bro, when it's 30 degrees, that paintball stings way more. I don't care what you say.
Seriously, man.
Dude, you can't even shoot them guns, man. Your hands are so cold.
That's why, hey, shout out to Planet Eclipse, man. They always shoot in the cold.
Hell yeah.
You're a Northeaster, you got to be shooting Planet Eclipse because they always work. Planet Eclipse.
Planet Eclipse. All right. Get into the end here. I definitely want to give the listeners, I know you guys play a lot of jokes and pranks. We were talking about this before. Nice. So, like, give us, like, a prank or two that really, like, stands out in your mind so we can feel a little behind the
I'll
scenes.
give you one from NYX, and I'll give you one from PMOB because this one from PMOB is the funniest thing ever. So, we had this one time in Chicago when I was playing for PMOB. This was the event that we got third at. So my buddy Jared and our coach Truck, they wanted to go to like a sex store and buy like a dildo. So these guys drove to like a local one, couldn't find it. They drove 2 hours away in Illinois to go find this open sex store. They bought like
That's a commitment on a prank.
Straight up. We love it. So they bought like a foot-long dildo. It was like a white dildo with a suction cup in the back. So my boy Nick from Crazy Paint that I used to work with was like the new guy on the team. So we're like, yo, we got to fuck with him. So in the middle of the night, we unzipped his gear bag and we slide it into his gear bag. Next day, we're loading up the truck. We're like, me, Truck, and Jared were like dapping each other up, like, yo, it's going to be so fucking good. Could not have been a more perfect scenario. We pull up in the parking lot at the event. Nick's old team, the Stingray All-Stars, is right there. So we're like, where should we park? I'm like, there.
Right there.
So we pull up right next to him. They have all their girlfriends and shit. They were there because Stingrays always have like a good pit crew of like their girls and stuff.
Right.
So they're all like out there. And we pull up and we're like, this is going to be so good. The kid unzips his bag. We're like, what the hell is that? And like everyone starts erupting and they're like, what the fuck? He pulls out this huge dildo. And we should have wrote like property of Nick Delaney, like phone number if found, returned to, like. But no, that was like the funniest one. Like we used to joke about that all the time. And then the whole tournament, that was like the gag. Yeah. Like this giant suction cup dildo. We were like doing everything. We were like sticking it to our rental cars, fucking in the hotel room. That was like the biggest gag. And then NYX, one time we saran wrapped Johnny D's car. We had practice and we were like, this is actually not too long ago. It was a couple months ago. We had practice and we're playing and like we stayed overnight. And then we're like, yo, let's go to the store and buy like a bunch of saran wrap and go saran. Because Johnny got a Jaguar F-Type. Like
That's when he got his new car?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just got it. So we're like, dude, we have to go to this kid's house and fuck with him. So we clear the shelves of all the saran wrap. We go to his house, saran wrap his F-Type, saran wrap his BMW, whatever. We leave. And then I'm like, oh, dude, I want to get these guys so bad. So like me and Rosati are like sitting in the kitchen at Harris's house. And I'm like, yo, Zadi, should I go over here and like saran wrap his toilet? And he's like, absolutely. Dude.
Absolutely.
So I like take the saran wrap, I like put it in my waistband, I like pull my shirt over it. I'm like, yo, dude, where's your bathroom? And he's like, yo, it's right in there, but just don't saran wrap my toilet or something. He was like, dude, he's like, I'm not stupid. If you saran wrap my toilet, blah blah blah. I was like, dude, you think I'm gonna saran wrap your toilet? Are you kidding me? So I walk to the bathroom. I go, obviously I saran wrap his toilet. And I made it. I have a video of it on my phone too. I made it so perfect. When I tell you, it looked like glass. It looked like glass. You could not tell. Harris goes, and this is like Harris's particular bathroom. Like his room is here, and like his bathroom is connected to it. So he goes to take a piss, and he tells me, and he'll even tell you if you ask him about it. He goes to take a piss, and he like he said, "Yo, I looked, I checked, and I thought I was good." And he's like, "Yeah, I think it's fine." Starts peeing on it, gets everywhere. And he was like, how the fuck? Like, I looked, I couldn't see it. Like, dude, it was so fucking funny. But, like, it's nonstop. Like, when we were in Kentucky and stuff like that, oh, my God, dude. The aftermath, you guys got to work on your prank skills, dude. Because we were killing you guys. And all you could do is the same prank back to us. Come on. You guys are better than that. But,
that's funny, man.
Yeah. That's just a fraction of the jokes. It literally never ends with NYX.
Dude, it's about having fun. That's what it's about, dude.
I always have fun with those guys, for sure.
But all right, we're getting to the end of our time here, so shout out your sponsors real quick. I know you shouted out some.
Listen, I want to say thank you to all my sponsors. I want to thank Rise Customs. I want to thank HK Army. I want to thank Planet Eclipse, Virtue as well. I want to thank Freak Paintball. If you want to shoot the best barrel in the game, you have to get a Freak. That's kind of the only thing you need to shoot, really. I also want to thank Crazy Paint Paintball. I want to thank Dean Carlton. I want to thank Bo Milo. Everyone that's gotten me to this point and helped me get where I am. Thank you guys so much. You know who you are. But yeah, there's a lot more to come, and I'm really glad to be on here with you guys, and thanks for giving me the shot.
Oh, dude, hell yeah. It was awesome, dude. Hopefully we'll get you back in here sometime soon.
I'd love to, absolutely.
Thanks you guys for tuning into the show. Remember to go to DizanaSports.com and use code OVERSHOT for 10% off, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Take it easy.
Peace out, guys.